I start with the start system and the divine graces compound chari. Srila Bhajan Vena Bhakti Vedanta Swami Papa Maharaj Kija. Jaya Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya. I start with the start system and the divine grace Bhakti Siddhanta Sarasa Thakur Goswami Papa Maharaj Kija. Anand Kakota Vaishnavi Kija. Namacharya Srila Haridas Kaur Kija. MC Kahau Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadara Sri Vasari Sri Gaura Bhakti Kija. Sri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Timakunda Radha Kunda Girikavadhan Kija. Savadavan Dham Kija. Mathura Dham Kija. Mayapanavadev Dham Kija. Sijalanapura Dham Kija. Gangamaya Yamunamaya Kija, Samajikos Dena Bhakti Dena Kija, Samabena Bhakti Dena Kija, Nitai Gaur Premanandi. All glory to the sum of the waters, all glory to the sum of the waters, all glory to the sum of the waters, all glories, to the Gora Gora. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Gatsam Tato Jaya Mudhyayet Nastapayet Bhadisu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavaiti Naistike. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 69, Text 12, Text 9 to 12. So Text 9 is what is on the board, right? You speak English? Huh? You speak English?
Yes.
Ah.
Yes.
What is on the text? What is on the board?
9 to 12.
This is 9 to 12? This what is on the board here is 9 to 12?
Only 9.
All right, thank you. Vistadham vidrumastambe vidurya falakutame Indranila mahe kuthe jagatya chahata trisha. So, I'll just go through the other text. Okay, we just do together. Vistabham vidrumastambe vidurya falakotame Indranila mahe kudye Jagatya chahata tvisha. Can someone try?
Vistabdam vidrumastam vai Vaidurja phalagottamai Indranidamaya kuddai Jagatya chahata trisha Vistabdam vidrumastam vai Vaidurja phalagottamai Indranidamaya kuddai Jagatya chahata trisha Ishtabdam vidrumastam vai Vaidurja phalagottamai Indranidamaya kuddai Jagatya chahata trisha.
All right, I'll just go through the rest, 10, 11, and 12, then go to the translation. Vitane nimites trastra multadhama vilambidi Dante asana paryanke mani utama puriskrite dasibi nistakantibi Subhasobi alankritam Pumbisa kanchukoshnisa Subhastra manikundale Ratnapadipa Nikara Dyutibi Nirasta Grantam Vichitra Balabhishu Sikandinonga Prityanti yatra vihita guru dupam akshe niyantam iksha ganapudaya unadantaha. So word for word translation, please kindly respond for speak. Vishtabham, Vistadam, supported. Vidruma, everybody here understands English? Of coral, Stambe by pillars, Viduria gems, Falaka with decorative coverings, Utame excellent, Indranilamaye bedecked with sapphires. It's not written there. Akudye with walls. Jagatya with floor. With a floor. Cha and Ahatha constant. Trisa who's the forgings. Vetane with canopies. Nimite constructed. Trastra by Vishwakarma. Muktadama of strands of pearls. Filambidi with hangings. Dante of ivory. Asana with seats. Paryanke and beds. Money with jewels. Uttama, most excellent. Pariskrite, decorated. Dasibi, with maid servants. Niska, lockets. Kantibi, upon whose throats. Vasudev, well dressed. Alankritam, adorned. Pumbi, with men. Sakanchuka, wearing armor. Usnisa, turbans, suwastra, fine clothing, money, jeweled, kundale, and earrings, ratna, jewel bedecked, pradipa of lamps, nikara, many, due to be with the light, nirasta, dispelled, dvantam, darkness, vichitra, variegated, bala bishu, on the ridges of the roof, sikandina, peacocks, anga. My dear King Parikshit, Rechanti, dance, yatra, wearing, vihita, placed, aguru of aguru, dupam, incense, akshay, through the small holes in the latticed windows, niryatam, going out, iksha, seeing, gana, a cloud, budayaha, thinking it to be, unadantaha, crying loudly. Translation and purport by the followers of Srila Prabhupada. Supporting the palace were coral pillars decoratively inlaid with Vidurya gems. Sapphires bedecked the walls, and the floors glowed with perpetual brilliance. In that palace, Twastra had arranged canopies with hanging strands of pearls. There were also seats and beds fashioned of ivory and precious jewels. In attendance were many well-dressed maidservants bearing lockets on their necks, and also armor-clad guards with turbans, fine uniforms, and jewel earrings. The glow of numerous jewel-studded lamps dispelled all darkness in the palace. My dear king, on the ornate ridges of the roof danced loudly crying peacocks, who saw the fragrant aguru incense escaping through the holes of the latticed windows and mistook it for a cloud. Srila Prabhupada writes, there was so much incense and fragrant gum burning that the scented fumes were coming out of the windows. The peacocks became illusioned by the fumes, mistaking them for clouds, and began dancing jubilantly. There were many maidservants, all of whom were decorated with gold necklaces, bangles, and beautiful saris. There were also many male servants who were nicely decorated in cloaks and turbans and jewel earrings. Beautiful as they were, the servants were all engaged in different household duties. Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dadaksva Padantika Vandasi Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahoduto Vedadaya Puskavanto Chita Chabitamono Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadara Sivasadi Sigora Bhakti Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pisaya Bhutale Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityananda Namaste, Saraswati Devi, Gauravani, Pacharine, Namaste, Sonya Vani, Concentrate, Visitari. Vanchakalpatari Decha, Kupasunamya Decha, Patitanam Pavani, Vaishnava Namo. So, I don't have Indian accent, so some of you might be difficult to catch up what I say. I'll try as much as possible to be slow. So, in this a couple of texts, it's a continuation of the report from the experiment that was being conducted by Narada Muni. After Narada heard that Lord Krishna had married 16,000 queens, and basically these 16,000 were derived from Krishna's defeat of the demon. What's the name of that demon? Yeah, so when Narada heard about the story, about the this very pastime of Krishna defeating Narakasura was indefatigable. He couldn't be defeated by anyone. And how did he get that power? Whom did he worship? Narakasura. Who was the demon? Who was the guru of Narakasura? Yes? Whom did he worship to get that power? Sukracharya. Sukracharya is the spiritual master of the demons. But Narakasura also embarked on some worship. When each time the demons, they want to acquire some power, they worship some god. Just like Hiranyakasipu, when he wanted the power to be invisible, he worshipped Lord Brahma. So, if you don't know who Narakasura worship, when you go back, after the class, you should do some homework. So, the idea was that when Narada heard about the incident of Krishna giving shelter to these 16,000 ladies, young ladies, young girls. So Narada wanted to go to see what is going on. And the main idea is that now that Krishna had originally eight queens, and then with this 16,000 makes it 16,108. I mean 108 queens. And then with this 16,000 it makes it 108. So 108, but how, we have what is called marriage management. How to manage a marriage. If you have a family, or family management, if you have a family, one wife, one man, you have to have the skills to manage your family. Otherwise, things will fall apart. You may not be able to give quality time to your wife, and the wife, if even she doesn't complain, if she's like a traditional Indian lady, they're very tolerant. You may give them so much pain, but they're very tolerant. If it is Westerner, maybe they will just sue for divorce. But the point is, there's what we call marriage management. So now I wanted to go and figure out how Krishna is managing all of these queens. They wanted to find out. Because Narada, he travels all over the cosmic creation. He goes even to the spiritual world. And so he's the best of the preachers. And so whatever he says, even the demons, when he tells them something, is valued, even Kamsa, when Narada had to tell Kamsa about his background, now Kamsa took it very seriously. And that is how Kamsa even started being inimical to his own father and put his father to jail, because Narada told him, this guy is not your father. So Narada is very good at also instigating situation. It's like a catalyst. A catalyst is an element that speeds up, expedites a chemical reaction, but at the end of it all, that element is not affected by the whole chemical reactions. So in this case, Maharaj has come to be able to have a total understanding of what is going on. Huh? How do you say what is going on in Oriya? Huh? Huh? I will not catch that. So, this description here is being given about the aesthetics of the inner aesthetics of Krishna's, one of Krishna's palaces. It means the features, the decoration, what we have, what is called inner. How you call those designers? The people who do inside, huh? Yeah, interior. Yeah. These texts they're describing the interior design of one of Krishna's palace, just one. And Krishna, in order to manage his 16,108 wives, what did he do? Yes. He slept with one woman one day and then goes to the other one the next day. What did he do? Expands himself, yeah. But one could say that even yogis can expand themselves. Yes, yogis can expand themselves, but not 16,000. What is the maximum that yogis can expand themselves? 8. So if you are a yogi, but then you see the problem with that is that if people who are not in Krishna consciousness, they are not reading the Vedic literatures. If someone someone expands himself in Bhubaneswar to 18 forms, that is the highest yogic perfection in terms of expansion. But if someone right here in Bhubaneswar expands himself into 8 forms, what will people say? They will say that he's an avatar. Is it not? He's an avatar. Or maybe he's the supreme. People produce artists and then they call him the supreme. Not to speak of someone expands himself into 8 forms. Whew. That's really great. But for the devotee, he or she understands that this is just nothing. Because Krishna expanded himself into 16,108 forms to be able to manage his families. You see, if even we don't want to be serious, to say we become pure, attain, Krishna prema, and go back to Godhead, just to have this knowledge protects you from being cheated by false people who claim to be false gods. Because in the 21st century, if you can display some mystic power, if even you don't call yourself God, your followers are going to proclaim that you are God. And the majority mass of people will accept that you are God. So, Krishna expanded himself into 16,108 forms to be able to be present, be available, give quality time to all of his families. The rationale for this expansion could be asserted as being sociological, but it is also spiritual. Because sociologically speaking, a woman needs quality time of the husband. You can bring billions of dollars to your wife at the end of the month. This is your shop money, though. How do they call it here? This is your feeding money. You give your wife $1 million. And then you zoom out. You're not available. You're not available. You go out, make more money. And then the next month, You also give her $1 billion. This is for your feeding money. Take this and maintain yourself and the family. And then you zoom out. You're not there. Your wife will be very happy with you, right? Huh? Sure. Maybe traditional Indian woman, they'll be happy. American woman, they will sue you for divorce. Because a woman does not only need your money, they also need your quality time. Jai Sisi Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Kuri Jai. Sisi Krishna Balaram Kuri Jai. Sisi Gora Nitai Kuri Jai. And even the children in the house, Krishna also had children. So the children need your time. Children need you, the father, to play with them. I remember one of my doctors in Delhi, one devotee. So I used to visit him for medical attention and examination. And the wife is also very close to me. So they have 2 kids. At that time, the girl was like 16 years. And one day I went to their house, and the girl sat me down and was complaining bitterly about the father. The father is a medical doctor. He has a big clinic. What is the complaint? He said, the father does not give her time. Yeah, this is not in America. This is in India. So the children may not complain, or the wife may not complain, but that's not the best thing, because I've the lived experience that children complain about their father not giving them quality time, right here in India. So Krishna expanded himself to avoid all this type of social complications, these complaints. He expanded himself to 16,108 forms, so that he could be available in all of the families, to play with the children, to be available for the wife, to give quality time to the family members. The marriage is not just about having a spouse and there is no social interaction. Or to have a family is not just to produce, to embark on procreation, and you're not there to give the social, emotional support for the family. So a number of reasons are there that for Krishna to expand himself. But essentially in this text, a vivid description is being given how amazing, the amazing job that Vishwakarma did. You want to build a house, you need a structural engineer, you need a civil engineer, you need artisans, you need interior decorators, so many things. And you pay a hell for the structural engineer to come and diagnose the type of ions you will use for the building so that it does not collapse. Civil engineer is the one who builds. And then we have the artisans, who are the labor class, who have to help the civil engineer in setting up the building. But in all these circumstances, Vishwakarma is the chief. He's the chief architect. He's the chief structural engineer. He's the chief civil engineer. So, amongst the higher beings, this petty specialization is not there, because their brains work superlatively greater than our minuscule brains. So Vishwakarma is the one who was charged with the responsibility of taking care of all of these decorations. And he did a perfect job. So when Narada came and he saw all of this, he was completely amazed. Narada also went to different palaces, and he found that Krishna was engaged in different duties. A yogi expands himself to 8 forms, and he will do the same thing with those 8 forms. If he's going to urinate, the all 8 forms are going to urinate. But with Krishna, Narada observed that Krishna was engaged in different activities. In each palace he went to, he found Krishna was doing different activities. So just like the maid servants, the guards, and everyone else in one palace, the description has been given here. If you go to another palace, another description has been given. It's not going to be the same. It's not the same. There is Krishna created the variegatedness in the material world. So why wouldn't he also embody the variegatedness in his own palaces? That's not a big deal. If materially speaking, there is variegatedness. So there's no big deal in having sophisticated variegatedness in Krishna's homes regarding aesthetics, interior decoration, structural design, civil design, whatever. But then the whole idea of this vivid descriptions is to be able to provide us with something to muse over, to contemplate on, to think about. And by doing so, we become purified. Now if you just think about the skyscrapers in New York, you don't become purified. You become conditioned, you become more and more contaminated. But if we contemplate on the descriptions given in this text about the interior decorations of Krishna's palaces, we become purified. Why? Because the paraphernalia of Krishna and Krishna, they are not different, because Krishna is absolute. And so it is important for us to make out the time to read his books. Prabhupada wrote his books for us to read and for us to also to distribute. If we don't read the books, we will not know the content. There's no magic. There's no magic. We know the content and we become big preachers without reading the books. I remember one of the things that motivated me to give up my job to live in the temple was when I came to the temple for 2 weeks. When I was on vacation, I came to the temple for 2 weeks. I was going out with devotees for Harinam and Sankirtan, and it was a very intense, tight schedule. So each time I come back from Harinam, I go to the back of the temple, because in the ashram, people are just talking here and there, and they are conversing and all those things. So I'll go to the back and then read. I was just a voracious reader. But then, the more I read, the more I found out that it's not possible to do all of these details outside there. And that's one of the reasons why I just said, well, I'm not going back to work. Let me just be here to practice all of these things delineated in the books. So, Papa has given us a legacy, something that someone leaves behind. So, when if your father is a big businessman, he has so much of bank balance, the money he leaves behind is also called a legacy. So, Prabhupada has left a legacy behind, a literary legacy behind, for us to digest, for us to absorb ourselves, and help to disseminate this knowledge. And for most people, we wouldn't go into the streets and start describing to them about, the interior decoration of Krishna's palace. They can tell you, I don't care about that. So we have to develop strategies on understanding the needs of our audience. People, we are preaching to people, we have to understand. We have to figure out what's the needs of these people. And try to speak in ways that align with their needs. Because everyone is not going to hear you talk about Krishna's true Bhagavan Swami. If you tell them that also, some people will outrightly tell you, I don't believe in God. So, but these spiritual, these transcendental pastimes, these descriptions, they purify the heart, they purify our hearts. And just like it's mentioned in the Bhagavatam, Nasta Prayesu Abhadis. Nityam Bhagavata Seva. It's not that we go on vacation. There's no vacation in Krishna consciousness. There's no vacation in hearing about the pastimes of Lord Krishna. I've had enough. Let me go on vacation. I've had enough. I was in the class yesterday. Today, I rest. No, it's not. So the work it could be tedious in the conditioned state. Something you do every day, it becomes monotonous. But there is no monotony in Krishna consciousness, because the more we hear, the more we become purified, and the more we become spontaneously involved in wanting to hear more. The more we read, the more we become purified, and the more we want to read to become more and more engrossed in the philosophy and practice of Krishna consciousness. So, this text is very amazing in the sense that they are giving us some very important aspect of Krishna's pastime, the place where he lived. How did it look like? This is the description there. So every detail is given. It's not that Krishna is a mythology. The description given is there. Mathura is there. Dwarka is there. What a question of mythology. I remember one year we are doing parikrama in Vrindavan, and then we stopped in one of the temples. There were some pamphlets they put outside, and one of the pamphlets I read, and I was so upset. They described some things, and then they said, this is mythology in India. They bind Western mentality, Western scholars' mentality, and then they say it's mythology. Krishna, Dwarka is there, Vrindavan is there, Ayodhya is there, and you said the Vedic scriptures are mythology? So, we should be fully equipped with knowledge of the Vedanta. We should be fully equipped with knowledge of the Bhagavatam, which is the essence of the Vedanta. So that we don't get bewildered when people try to produce some eggs from their hands, or produce some golden rings. We don't get bewildered. Or someone come to expand himself. As if everyone is running after them. We understand. Hey, Krishna expanded 16,108. What a smack is this? So, it's up to us. If we are to practice Krishna consciousness, we have to learn to practice. We have to learn to listen to the Bhagavatam every day. This is the instruction of the Bhagavatam itself. So are there some comments or some questions? Yes.
Why Krishna expands only 16,000 plants?
Huh?
Why Krishna expands himself within 16,000 ranis? Not within the Patlanis, Rukmani, Satyabhama, not with the gopis.
Not with the gopis?
Not with the gopis and not with the ranis.
No. Even with the gopis, he expanded himself. Each gopi is thinking, Krishna is with me. Read the Bhagavatam. Read the Rasa Lila. Each gopi is thinking, Krishna is dancing only with me. because he expanded himself into thousands and thousands of forms amongst the gopis. Not always.
As 16,000 ranis.
No, during the Rasa dance, he expanded himself. And that bewildered the gopis, because each gopi was thinking, Krishna is with me. If something is monotonous, so if he does something all the time, if you have only rice every day, you have distaste for rice. So he does different things, He does different things. Yeah, but it's a very insightful, very nice question. So, yeah, Krishna expands himself. And the whole thing is to be able to someone feel that you care for them, you love for them, means you are with them. And so there's another good point here. Krishna is not like another mortal. In some countries, I know in Africa, people marry more than one wife. Even in India, in Delhi, I've seen people who marry more than one wife, Muslims. Yes? Muslims, they marry. If you don't go close, you may not know. You may think in India also just one wife, one man, one wife. But no, the Muslims, they still marry more than one wife. So they can't expand themselves. They have to sleep with this woman one day and sleep with the other woman the next day and sleep. That becomes like a burden. It becomes like a labor, an emotional labor. You're struggling to meet up with the demand of the women. But Krishna's case, he just expands himself. And he gives his presence to each and every one. There's no complaint. Thank you. Any other point? Yes? Yeah, but we have to force the Indian community. Indian community, they are buying Western scholars' idea. Well, the Britons, they come here to steal the Indian cultural heritage and then make a propaganda that all this is mythology. And then some Indians are buying this idea. Even some Indian scholars are buying this idea. So, the point, mythology means something that does not exist. It's like a fiction. So, take the person to Vrindavan, take the person to Mathura. Ask them whether this is mythology. This is Mathura. I remember one of my professor friends, he wrote me one time, and he said, I want to go to Vrindavan. I said, to go and do what? He said, I want to go to see the places of pastimes of Lord Krishna. I've been reading in the books, and now it's time to go and see the places myself. So some people are intelligent. That guy, he read one of my publications in a peer review academic journal, and then he became attracted to me. But I was even very surprised because that that publication was something I expected that scholars would even fight me because I was talking everything against the norms. I was talking about celibacy, okay, and the benefits of celibacy. But then this guy, he was doing his PhD at that time, and then he became attracted. So he went to the office of the editor-in-chief of the journal to ask for my contact information. So the office, they didn't give him because it's against the law. So they didn't give him. So they contacted me to ask me that some guy, some PhD student is asking for my contact. I said, well, I have not committed any crime anywhere. Give my contact. I'm a preacher. Give my contact. Anybody can reach out to me. So then he reached out to me. We communicated for a number of years before eventually we met. At that time, he had finished his PhD. He was the head of department for musicology in a federal university. And he organized a really huge program for us. So that's the guy who later told me he wants to come to Vrindavan. I mean, he wants to come to India. I queried him. I said, to go and do what? He said, he wants to go and see the pastime places that he has been reading from the books I gave to him. So, intelligent people, they may want to investigate, they want to figure out. Unintelligent people, they just buy someone's idea, and then they say, oh, it's non-existent. And until the unintelligent people, those who parade those ideas, even amongst the Indians, who parrot those ideas that the Vedic culture or Vedic literature, or Krishna's pastimes, their mythology, they don't read the books. They don't read the Puranas, they don't read the Bhagavatam. Huh?
Your imagination is just magical.
Yeah. So we have a fight. We have a fight here in India. You guys have to brace up. You see, when the enemy is within, it's more difficult. When we have some people born here, they should appreciate the culture, and they're following some, some people, some Western scholars to call this tradition mythology. That is very unhealthy, very sad. Yeah, so this is why we have to preach, introduce the books to people. Prabhupada wanted that. When they read, then they may have a change of heart. All right. In the absence of any other comments, we'd like to adjourn this meeting. Thank you very much for participating in Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hey, take this. Really long garland, eh? Hey, GBC.
Jai.